Hello everybody, welcome back to Balance Basketball Academy. My name is Jordan. I was a former college basketball player and now a trainer. And today we're going to take a look at some crazy TikTok videos and to see whether or not they are baller or bogus, whether they're worth your time or not. For those of you who are new to this channel and what this particular video series is. For those of you who are not new to this channel, I just want to say first and foremost, sorry. I disappeared for 3 months or so. And most of that, I guess I would say, is because school's been kicking me in the butt. I want to continue making these videos. I appreciate you guys, but I haven't shown that appreciation, and I apologize. Going forward, I need to be better. On top of that, I'll get to this later on. I'm not going to touch on it today, but I am working on something that is pretty big, and you'll get to see what it is later on down the line, but for now, we're going to talk about TikTok videos, okay? So, for those who are here, like, subscribe, so on and so forth, and let's watch some TikTok videos, have a little bit of fun, and enjoy ourselves for today. Alrighty?
If you're getting up a whole bunch of shots, but you still can't shoot in a game, it's probably because your training does not replicate a real game environment. Here are some shooting drills that you can do by yourself that will actually translate to a game. The first one are these lateral cone touches. These will help you with shooting off the move. Make sure you do these off the slide and off the run. For the next one, we're going to do these choppy steps around the cone into a catch and shoot.
This works. If you're training by yourself, this definitely works, and it creates some variety in the abilities, or in the ways that you catch the ball. That can really replicate having somebody pass the ball directly to you. That said, if you have somebody who can make you passes while you're getting shots up, do it. Do that, because that's going to be a lot closer to what's going to happen in a game than this will be, but this is a nice substitute.
Cone into a catch and shoot. Sometimes your strides will be long, sometimes your strides will be choppy, especially when you're slowing down your momentum. This will get you comfortable with that. Next, we're going to get into these backwards over the head tosses. This will help you with shooting off a back pedal and also your overall spatial awareness. Make sure you work on different types of footwork, different type of plants.
The last two drills are, chopping around a cone. That one is also fine. It can be accomplished with the lateral move as well. Again, these are all like slight variations that I think are all fine. I think overall this drill's baller. This is a helpful drill. This is something you can definitely do by yourself. There's tons of people who give excuses and they say, oh, I can't train because I'm outside or because I'm by myself or because da 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 da. No, like those are excuses. You can get past that by these kind of creative drills, these things that help replicate what you're going for. The one where you're throwing it behind you working on the back pedal, that one's a little weird because you cannot see the ball until after, pretty much after you've done your full back pedal, and then you have to turn and grab it. It's not really how backpedaling typically works. Typically when you're backpedaling away from a player who's passing you the ball, so you're trying to like get behind the line so you can get that extra point, because why not? You're going to be able to see where the ball's coming from. So while it does make you, have to work quickly on the fly, it isn't actually necessarily any more game realistic than just spinning the ball and then backpedaling and then catching it and doing that.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Okay, if you guys know me, you already know that the reason why I selected this video is because I love drills like this, okay? I like including drills that I know are 100% baller. This one is certified. I bring this up over and over again. If you can control the rhythm in which you dribble the basketball, you have so much control over your defender, because they don't know when you're going to go fast or when you're going to slow it down and kind of lull them to sleep. That's what James Harden at his peak would do, and even still does to a certain extent. I mean, he's older now, but like he still has that ball handling ability where he will lull you to sleep and then he'll zip right by you with that first step. This is how you practice that. This is a very good drill. I highly, highly recommend. If you are any version of intermediate, as in you're not in your first 2-3 years of basketball or anything like that, you definitely should be doing this.
As you can't complain to me that your workouts don't translate to games, but this is what you do for your training. Drills aren't working because you're not playing off instinct. So guys, please get rid of the cones and try this workout instead. Okay, you're freestyling above the three-point line. As soon as you get past the three-point line, you have one dribble to go finish your layup. That one dribble is gonna make you drive to the basket with max intent each time because you have to cover a lot of distance. And you're also gonna have to vary the finish that you do each time because you're not gonna be able to predict where you're gonna end up after the drive. Do this workout for 20 minutes, 3 times a week for 4 weeks, and you'll see improvement.
Okay. I don't necessarily hate this one either. I think we're on a bit of a roll here. This one, I would say, is baller. Couple caveats, though. First thing, when cones are not necessarily bad, that's not a claim that that's not a blanket claim that I would ever make. I don't agree with that. I think that they do have some purpose, and they can be used effectively. We'll probably see cones again in this video. I'll bet you. But for this, the freestyling thing is good. Here's where it can get out of hand, though. Freestyling when you're doing like 8 moves and you're doing all kind, like doing a little Irish jig up at the 3-point line before you make a move, not gonna work, okay? Players who make it to the higher levels of the game are ones who can get to their move, get to their spot very effectively and efficiently. If you can't do that, you're wasting shot clock time, you're giving opportunity for the defender to pull into help side, you kind of get tunnel vision thinking, oh, I gotta get by this guy, and then you're trying to force a shot. If you can't get past somebody in 2, maximum 3 moves, max, I'm saying 2, it should be 2, then you need to pass the ball off or you need to find a different angle. I'm talking about dribble moves. That doesn't mean that you can't catch, pivot, try and see how this guy's, you know, moving and stuff like that. We see times with Kobe all the time where he would work his pivot feet, then he'd work his pump fake, then he'd make a crossover move, and then he'd get inside, right? He's doing a bunch of things, but he's not just sitting there just trying to like hit people with you know, crazy crossovers and get an ankle breaker. I also think that the one dribble into a finish, great stuff, 100% great stuff, because the sooner you can get up into that finish, the more that your defender is going to have less time to react. That didn't make any sense. Your defender will have less time to react, okay? Great.
Doing the slingshot drill. 1. Partner holds your arm. 2. Partner lets go of arm. It will make you faster. Follow for good drills.
No. Here's the deal. I think that a lot of people who watch me think that I hate Coach Ross. I don't. I really don't. There's just some things that I think when experimentation is entered into the picture, some stuff's going to work, and some stuff I think, frankly, is probably not going to work. Will this drill harm you? No, it probably won't, assuming you don't fall on your face. You'll have to get your feet under you, and that's great. Will it make you faster? I mean, like, running sprints will make you faster, too, right? Like, this drill isn't going to do anything better, really, than anything else more typical would. It just looks interesting. What is this position replicating in a live setting? What is this replicating in a game? In a game, how are you going to end up like this, where somebody's literally holding your arm and you have to, like, fall over and keep going? What's that simulating? It certainly does put you in a position where you do have to regain balance, but there are other drills where you can work on regaining balance, like having a partner with a contact pad hitting you, and you have to keep your core strong and focus and get to the rim. I'm gonna call this one bogus. You can do it. It's not really gonna do much for you though. So, you know, if you have a friend and you want to play around, go for it. Got quite the setup there. I am actually going to call this bogus. Why? Because I have one of these balls. I do. I bought one. Because I thought, why not throw away $20 for basketball stuff? I love doing that. I'm going to show you that this ball does not work in the same way that you might think it does. Yes, this ball is fairly quiet, but there's a major problem with it. It does not weigh the same. So let me show you. Camera. This is a men's basketball. It's in the standard size, right? It's a Wilson Evolution. It's filled up. Okay, this thing's normal, right? This is the foam basketball. I'm gonna stand back so you can see them. This is what they look like. You can see that the foam basketball is smaller than the men's basketball by a noticeable amount. Okay, that's my first thing. My second thing, let's see if this stays. This is a scale. This is a food scale, okay? It measures in any measurement I want, especially for small measurements, since basketballs are fairly light. For the sake of this, we're going to do grams, just for everybody who's, you know, overseas or even Americans. Everybody's gonna be able to understand what we're looking at. Here's the foam basketball, okay? I'm using minimal pressure to try and keep this thing on, okay? Here we go. So it's about 33, maybe 34, right? I'm trying to just touch this as lightly as I can just to keep it where it is. I'm gonna say it's 34, all right? Sorry, not 34. It's that's gonna make it 340 grams. Okay, the men's basketball on the scale, I'm using minimal pressure just to keep it on there. 620? 620? So, after that little adventure, right? This ball is objectively going to throw you off. Like, you might as well go shoot with a volleyball. It's gonna be about that much use to you because it's going to be a smaller ball. It's gonna be a lighter ball. The texture is not the same at all. It's not made out of leather, like, whatsoever. So you're going to be spending all of your time shooting that ball indoors, assuming you have that nice of a setup that is 10 feet high, just to throw off your shot. Please don't use that ball to do anything other than dribble. That's my recommendation. This is Bogus. I think I told you that I found a good one as far as cone drills go. Cone drills can be good if you decide to practice your shiftiness, practice your change of space and direction and speed. Like, cone drills can be fine. This is a clear example of that. Like, you can do things in tight spaces, work on your dribbling. It's just a marker. That's all it is. It's a marker for telling you where you need to cross the ball over, since you don't have a defender to do it for you. That's fine. Use the tools you have. That's what this guy's doing. Cone drills can be completely fine if you just... If you use them properly, like anything else. There's nothing wrong with cones. Baller.
You can't handle on-ball pressure, like your pocket just keeps getting picked like that. This is the only drill you'll ever need. You're gonna pick a small space like the red line and the sideline and just play one-on-one. Can't go outside the lines. Ross is a hack, so he's the perfect defender to go against.
Yeah.
You do that drill, you'll be able to handle pressure pretty easily.
This is a good drill, especially if there's actually nothing wrong with a coach or a player fouling you intentionally several times over, because sometimes stuff's not going to get called and you can't rely on that whistle, right? Obviously somebody fouling you to the point of like unrealism, like, you know, they're just hacking your arms and just shoving you out of the way. Obviously, no, that's not what I'm saying. But having some contact is not actually a bad thing at all. And also having a limited amount of space to operate in is a good thing, because you're not going to be able to just zoom all the way from sideline to sideline on the court, just doing whatever you want with the ball. If you can operate in small spaces, you can operate in big spaces. This is a very good drill. This is something that I've done before. Highly recommend. Baller. Oh my god. What? What was that? No, what?
Don't tell me you love me when I was
okay.
You love me for nothing.
What is going on?
Left off of dead, but he came back and got me. See the way that it's pain, tell me about your prayer, stay humble.
Okay. Alright, let's look at the first one, because I have a couple things to say. This is creative. It's creative. It's a little weird. I mean, nobody's going to come at you quite like that. That's just going to be a foul. And it's a little bit more variable than a cone, but a cone would do about the same thing. I guess this would be fun. There is an angle to that, where if you're a coach, you want to make things fun, and this is a way to do that. It's just funny. It's just a funny drill, okay? Because it's just like, what? Okay. Crossover, crossover, crossover. He made 3 moves just to get blocked, right? Part of the reason why it didn't work, well, A, that defender is more athletic than he is and taller than him. Okay, he's already got a disadvantage. In that case, he was using a bunch of crossovers to try and get by the guy. He actually needed to just go into the bigger guy's chest and try and finish that way. Well, that sounds counterproductive. Why would you do that? Well, if you are the first person to make contact wins, right? And if you're avoiding, you're gonna have a really rough time. So that's essentially what this guy's doing. And then he also made too many moves, right? Let's go back, right? He makes that first move. He's not in a bad spot. Now all he has to do is drive in, make contact, and cut the guy off, get him under the rim, and then finish outside with the left. That's a tough thing to do, and asking a young player to finish with their left hand is tough, so he switches back to his right. He realizes, I don't actually have an advantage there. I just went back to the same side that I tried to get away from. And then he makes another crossover. He's lost all of his momentum. He's now at a point where he can't really do anything, like, versatile under the rim. He's stuck with this left-handed layup. And even if he goes on the off leg, it doesn't matter. That's the whole thing, is like, if you can't make a move to get somebody off balance or to get your position into position to score or to make a great play within a move, maybe 2. I said 3, but honestly, I'll go back on that. If you can't do it within 2 moves, you need to pass the ball off or you need to do something else, right? You have to be able to get past him in that first move. And he did that, but he's not comfortable finishing with his left, and that's just something that you got to work on. So, overall, what's this drill? Oh, I got sidetracked. I'm gonna call it bogus. It's not bad, but it's just goofy.
The idea is that throughout this action, through the reverse spin, through stepping over the cones, through that entire action, right, it's going to force me to quickly focus on the rim when it comes time to get this action, through the reverse spin, through stepping over the cones, through that entire action, right, it's going to force me to quickly focus on the rim when it comes time to get into my jump shot. In the game, we don't have all day to find and locate the rim. It's split second, either coming off a screen or a dribble move, that we have to locate and quickly focus on that rim right before we pull the trigger. So drills like this, definitely going to help with that.
What?
Before we pull the screen.
Okay, so... Alright, the whole premise of the drill is that he's spinning over top of a cone, or a series of cones. It's 6 cones. Then he proceeds to explain, you're not going to have a lot of time to be able to gather yourself and focus when you're scoring off of a spin, so this will help you. But he never explains why the cones are helpful. At all. Let's say that we got rid of the cones. Just humor me. The spin move will be the same. He'll just pick up his feet slightly less. And he still will he'll be just as disoriented as he would have been if he had to step over the cones to get into the spin move. Because the spin move is inherently a very disorienting move. But once you get used to it, you can make your shots out of it. So it's like, it takes practice, but you find the rim at kind of the last moment. You don't have a lot of time to just sit there and look for it. You're spinning, and then you see the rim, you gotta shoot, and that's it. Right? Sometimes you might get a pump fake in there, but most of the time, if you're staying too long on a spin move, you're gonna end up traveling. So there's nothing about the cones that is making this drill harder to do, or more game-like, or more beneficial to you. It's just there. And he literally says at the top of the video, why this dumb drill? It's just a spin move, but you just put cones there to get attention. This is bogus, man. And with that, I think that that's going to be our last video of the day. For those of you who are still around, thank you so much. Like, subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, thank you for sticking around this long. I appreciate it. Thanks for my sticking around for the little deep dive with the foam basketball. I just happened to have that on me, and I wanted to make my point very clear as to what this basketball actually is and what it's used for. But if you want to shoot with it, I'm not going to stop you. I've shot with, you know, all kinds of small Nerf little foam balls all the time, and they're very fun, okay? All that to say, I really enjoyed this video. If you got more TikToks or something like that, send it my way. You know, my Instagram is in the description here, so just throw me a DM and I'll take a look at it, and it might end up in a video. I'll give you a shout out if I do end up getting it from you. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and until next time, have a great rest of your day. Bye.